Hello, Henry from Belgium here. Today, another cool video with an update of my collection, and also a preview of sets from which you can expect separate detailed videos in the future. But in this video, I will give you also some more information about the sets, how I found them, prices that I paid, and what to look for when buying something secondhand. Loyal viewers already know that I mainly add sets to my collection, complete with the box and manual. But sometimes, it's also nice to buy separate sets, especially at a flea market, for very little money. It's also a way for me to first discover the set, and if I like it, I can then possibly look for a set complete with box and manual. It's not that I want to collect all the sets that ever have been released. I do make choices and divide my collection into different sub-collections. Sometimes I find sets that I have already with box and manual, but that I decide to buy again separately because I know the set very well and know which parts are inside. So, when I can get it at a good price, I buy it for spare parts, or just for fun to have some parts or sets as a display piece. This set is a good example. It's 6,376, Breezeway Cafe from 1990. I paid only €25 for it. It's a set full of nice parts and minifigs. If you were to buy all of these pieces separately on Bricklink, you would pay a lot more for it. This classic palm tree alone is already valuable, especially if the 4 leaves are still nicely intact as here. They are often damaged at the top, and the holes may be torn. When you place this brick on top, this is no longer visible. Sellers still try to sell them as new, hoping the buyer does not notice that. Furthermore, there are nice white non-discolored bricks in one piece. These large windows, some other interesting parts, and certainly also some cool minifigs. These torsos in particular have great prints, and they are also all in a nice condition without fading or cracks on the side. So when buying separate sets, a good tip is, always check everything carefully for damage, possible discoloration, and see if there are any valuable parts in the set. That of course varies from set to set, and then you have to estimate from your own experience what individual parts are valuable. That also applies to these individual loose sets. I will show you all of them later, but first I will show you this find. Set 6543 Sail and Fly Marina from 1994. You can already see an extensive video of this set on my channel. Well now, coincidentally I recently found a better copy. The box in particular is in very good condition. There are also stickers that I did not have in my previous set, so I will sell the set that I previously had and replace it with this copy. Collecting also means continuing to search for the best possible condition of certain sets. But here too, you have to remain realistic and estimate what something is worth. I know that this specific set is often offered for a lot of money. I see sometimes asking prices of €250 or more depending on the condition. As far as I'm concerned, everyone can ask whatever they want, and if they find a buyer for that price, that's all fine for me. But very often such sets are not sold because sellers have too high expectations. If the set is finally put up for an online auction because nobody wants to buy in the normal way, the sellers are very often disappointed that it only fetched that much. But that means that it is the value a buyer wants to pay for it. It's a matter of supply and demand. Of course, it also depends in the first place on the number of parts, which have their value anyway. This set contains just over 700 pieces, which is a lot, especially for a set from that period. So it seems logical that you can't get this set or any other large set for €50, but in this case, I have confronted the seller with the original price tag that is attached to it. 2,999 Belgian francs, which is €75. So I immediately made him a good offer that was almost 30% higher than the original purchase price, and I added that this was an open set with maybe missing stickers and maybe some missing parts. The seller was surprised at first and started to think. But when I gave him €100 in cash, he told me that it was actually a good deal. He was the first owner, paid less for it, and could now sell it at a profit. I did the same with this set, 6598 Metro PD station from 1996. It contains 552 parts, including 8 minifigs. I paid 85 euros for this one and also got a very nice box and manual with it. I got the set like this and haven't checked it for completeness yet. The condition seems already very good, and in the future I will make a separate extensive video about it. By the way, I found another police set that I thought I already had. I also paid 25 euros for it because they are just basic bricks, a plate and the manual. It turns out to be set 6386, Police Command Base from 1986. I don't have that police station with box and manual in my collection yet. So in this case, it would be fun to build this one first in a separate video, share my findings, and then decide whether I will look for a copy with box and manual. So that's also something fun to do in the future. I also found this box with separate sets at a flea market. All without a box, but mostly made up and packed in zip bags. So I could already tell from that it was a seller who took care of his material. And because he had made the effort to pack everything separately and include the booklet, I could hardly confront him with the fact that they weren't complete. He hadn't priced anything, and they were 10 separate bags that were for sale separately. I decided to confront him with a package deal and offered 100 euros cash for everything. I must say that he was clearly overwhelmed by my offer, but he even wanted to get more out of it, and we eventually came to a deal for 125 euros. I could still argue that they were mainly smaller sets, and the fact that the boxes were not included. But of course I had already carefully examined everything beforehand, and had seen what was in the box at the bottom. I was convinced that I was getting a good deal, especially because of these two older castle sets. Set 383. Knight's Joust from 1979, which includes the valuable cypress. Unfortunately, no flags, but otherwise the valuable grey space helmets without cracks in the chin and with the visors. All the correct minifigs and weapons, and also the original manual in good condition. Even the outer box is also included. And then this one is also included, set 677, Knight's Procession from 1979. This one actually consists mainly of minifigs and only a few parts, but is still valuable and interesting to add to my collection, even without the box because it is very hard to find. The minifigs have nice prints and nice accessories that I haven't in my collection yet. So I actually paid 50 euros for these two bags. And then I had the other bags at about 10 euros each. The sets are small, but they contain some nice parts and valuable elements. So in this case, I can give this good tip. Make a good offer right away by trying to obtain a package deal. I will also take a look at all these sets in detail, but I can already show them to you now. Most date from the 80s and early 90s. This one, which is not built and is spread out in two bags, is set 6566, Bank from 1997. So actually I have 9 sets here. This set bank has also some cool parts. It's a slightly more recent set than what I normally collect, but definitely worth building up next time and showing it in a separate video. In my next video, you can expect another extensive review and build of an individual set. And that will be this one, 6349 Holiday Villa from 1988. I have it complete with the box, the manual, and all parts. Feel free to comment below this video, and don't forget to subscribe, it's free. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.